All right. Happy to see everybody. Well, I look a little washed out there. Okay. That's interesting. I've been calibrating all my video lately, and it's a little interesting. I have to go and check the white balance on that. It's a little blue. Oh well. Good to see you guys. I'm hoping you're excited about today's topic, which is Vue and Module Federation. I'm pretty excited about it. It's very cool. I just tried it out with a Vuex store. Surprise, it works. But that's great. So we can talk about shared state with our Vue apps. Jump on to the comments. I would love to hear if you have experience with Vue, if you're Vue folks, if you've ever seen Module Federation before, if you don't know anything about it, let me know. And, we'll tweak this to be helpful for you because we got a little time and we should look at this. In fact, actually, I will say the actual portion where we go and implement Module Federation with this is like 5 minutes, if that, to actually make this go. So if you have any questions before we get into it, be sure to go and put those in the chat. All right. So welcome to Blue Collar Coder. I'm Jack Harrington. It's Friday, which is awesome. I just got some great news about some volunteering work that I do in the schools and how we will be funded. So I think that's awesome. Oh, great. Psycho. Awesome. You get to learn about some Vue, which is awesome. Always good to know. And I can even show you a React app and a Vue app in the same page if we want to do that. It's kind of cool. Kind of do like a single spa kind of thing. So yeah, I just got some great news that we're going to be able to go and do some extend our volunteering into Title I schools in our local community. So that's awesome. Okay, so I just upgraded the starter Vue thing. So I'm gonna let's see. Today's topic we'll do dogs. Let's see, Module Federation Vue dogs. I like dogs. Dags. And let's see, npx dgit, and then we're gonna use this starter kit. This is the Vue 3 starter kit. Sorry, we'll go over that. At least that's not as bad of a flub as I did in the video. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna have I don't know. Let's have a homepage app. So Module Federation is good when you have multiple apps, right? That's the big deal. If you've got if you're working in a big company, you probably have microsites, and microsites means that you have multiple applications, and in that world, like sharing data, but sharing components between those can be a drag, right? You've got npm, which means that everybody's got to go and get the new version and then push to release. You've got bit, which I think is effectively the same, and then you've got Module Federation, which doesn't require a push to get new code. So that's what we're going to look at today. So we are going to make a homepage app and a search app, and we're going to use dgit to do both of those. This is the starter kit that I use. Totally available to you anytime that you want it. Hi, Vishal. How you doing? Happy Friday. Hi, Zaid. No React pretty well? Okay. So this is great. So when I mess up on all my Vue stuff, which I've done before, you guys can help me out because you don't know any Vue, which is great. No, I'm just kidding. We'll figure it out together. It's actually really easy. Vue's great. I really enjoy Vue. I've used Vue in some more back-endy type applications. We had at my current job, I was working on a tag-based product recommender and did all the back-end work that would show what the results are going to be and all that, and in Vue, and it was great. Awesome framework. Okay, so we've got two apps. One's called Home and one's called Search. Basically exactly identical at this point. They're just two identical repos. And they have, let's go take a look at the package JSON. And let's see, we got our usual, sort of Babel core, CSS loader, all your sort of basic Webpack stuff. Currently on Webpack beta 22, which is a little old. I think we actually have a release candidate now. I should update that. And then the CLI and the dev server, those are pretty standard. And then we've got on the Vue side, the Vue loader and the Vue template compiler. These probably should get updated as well. Awesome. I'm glad I can teach you something new. And then we got Vue. And Vue is the only hard dependency that's non-dev. And so let's go take a look at our Webpack. Let's see. So home is going to be on 8080. You can change that by changing out the dev server. It's going to look for, .vue, .all that. And then it's got some basic rules. We're going to take a Vue loader, then grab the CSS, and then finally the script loader. And the only thing you probably aren't familiar with would be, well, the Vue loader plugin, which is, Vue. And then the module federation plugin, which is out of Webpack 5. And that's what's going to allow us to do our sharing. So let us go. And I'm going to go and put, the only change I'm going to make so far is to put search on 8081. And the only reason for that is that I want to run them both at the same time. And it's hard to do that when they're both on the same port. And actually, let's go and make a change to the app itself. So here's our app. Hello from Vue. I just found out that that's bad. You need to have a tag in here. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to say this is the home page. So this is what a Vue component looks like. There's a .vue file. And part of that is the template, which would be the HTML template. I'll call this is the search page. I'll make it all uppercase, and I'll make that one all uppercase so we can tell the difference. And then let's yarn on both of those. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go into those directories. Oops, that's wrong. Home on that side, and search on that side. And then yarn and yarn start. And then on this side, yarn and yarn start. Great. Friday. Boy, I'm looking forward to that. Good times. Okay, so there we go. Halfway to home. So we've got a home page on 8080. We've got our document, or our search page on 8081. And if I were to go over here and I could say, the home page rocks. It's got live reload, so, there you go. Nice DevX. Vue 3 does not need a root. It can have multiple components at the root. All right. Excellent. Thank you, Thor. All right. You are the closest thing we've got to a Vue expert on this stream. I did a whole screencast series in Vue 2 years ago for Pact. Clearly, I have lost all of that information. Okay, so let us go, and then let's make a header, shared header. We need to use it because it's a microsite, right? And invariably, the one thing that you need to share between microsite applications is the header, right? Because everybody needs the same header, and it's all got to be up to date. But the problem is that you don't want everybody to implement it because obviously that's just crazy amounts of overhead. So we're going to have a homepage team step up and say, we're going to do the header. So we're going to go header.vue in there. And then I'll make a template for that. And let's see, do the div again thing. I wonder, I'm getting errors. I get little problems if I don't put in, is it that I can have multiple roots, but they all have to they have to all be non-text, like a div or whatever, p tag or something. They all have to be in a tag. Okay, so let's see. We'll call this H2. This is kind of dumb, but whatever. Header. Right. Cool. And then in app world, so in the app, the way that we would import that is we'd add a script tag. There we go. And then it's got to import the header from /header. Easy peasy. And then it's got to say that that's available by adding that to a hash of components header. And at that point, you just pop that in there. So there you go, header. Let's take a look. And now I've got a header. So that's how easy it is to reuse components in a Vue context. And of course, you can do props and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, so let me catch up with Thor here. Expert. You feel like I do. VS Code doesn't like it yet. Okay, fine. All right. I'm not going to push it. I don't care. Like, who cares? All right. Apparently, Vuex is not released. It's like when I brought in Vuex, which is a state manager for Vue, kind of like most common one, I would say. It's not released for like 4.0 yet. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so we have our view now. We have our header in home, and we want to use it over in search. So how do we get that going? So let's go over here to Webpack config in home, and let's get rid of a bunch of these tabs so we can concentrate our efforts. So this is home, so we'll call it as such, home. And then we'll say that it exposes header. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm gonna call it what it is. And then give it source header, right? And now when I restart this, so yarn start, there you go. Everything still works, which is great. But if I go now to a new file called remote entry, it gives me this module map stuff. It basically says, here are some modules that I'm exposing from my application so that you can use those modules. Enjoy. So, so what we're gonna do is grab this URL and go back to 8080 on there. So it's still same thing. And we'll go over to the Webpack config of our search page because that's where we want to bring that in. So it's on 8081. Everything looks good so far. Everything looks great down here. So we're going to change this to search to disambiguate it from home. And we're going to say that we have a remote in home, and it's called home. This part has to match with this right here. But this can be whatever you want it to be. And then we give it the HTTP, the URL for that. And now let's just yarn start. No need to reload. No need to rebuild all that. Okay, looks like it's happy. Great. So now we've got to import that header. So I'm going to go back over to my app, this time in the search page. Make another script tag. And now I'm going to import header from home/header, just like so. And I'll bring in that, I'll add that components. Why isn't that hinting that? That should hint that. I mean, that's pretty standard. All right, so let's drop the header in here. Whoops, header, there we go. And voila, now the search page has the same header. And you want to be blown away. If you've never seen this before, never seen Module Federation before, here you go. So now with live updating. Okay, so this is when, obviously we're working on localhost at this point, right? So this is when the homepage team would push this header update, their whole app, to production, right? So they would they're pushing to production now, right? So they've saved, right? So now if you go over to homepage, now you get the updated page. And then the next time that anybody goes to the search page, they get refreshed, essentially, and now they've got the new header. Fire! It's lit, man! Is Module Federation a new technique for building web pages? I would say it's a new architectural tool in your toolkit that allows you to share components more readily. So let me jump in and do my little spiel here. So it is built in to Webpack 5. It is not a product or anything like that. There's no money. It's just now part of Webpack 5, right? And it essentially is along the same lines of, like, think of it as a live version of NPM, right? If you were going to share this header module before, what you'd have to do is either export it out of the app, out of like package.json, and NPM. So you basically make home into a package. But really what people do is they go and extract the header into its own project, probably like in a mono repo. And then they would have just the header project, right? And it's versioned and everything else. And then they would consume that in both the home and the header and search, right? And then in order for the pages to get updated, that you'd have to change header, push a new version of that up to NPM, and then both of those applications would then need to bump their versions and release. And so it's pretty lame. It's not going to get you out there simultaneously. And that's what actually, that's another thing in this kind of microsite space is, nobody wants to have it so that it's done where that's the case, right? Nobody wants to have a header that looks one way on the homepage, and then on the PDP page it looks different, and on the search page it looks different again. Everybody wants it to be the same. And so what invariably happens is people go to like single spa, or they create like a vanilla JS header that's published to S3, and then they just kind of script load that, or use an ESI tag to load that, and there's a whole bunch of hacks. And what I'm saying here is with Webpack 5, hacking be gone. And in fact, even better, what you can do is, if you're like, whoa, wait a second, well, what happens if homepage crashes, right? Like if somehow homepage is dead, right? Which is fair, right? So now we go to homepage and it's not responding, and we go over here and this guy is crashing because it's trying to import header and header is not working. At least on the React side, and I'm betting there's something like this on Vue too, there are error boundaries. And you can basically do an asynchronous load of the header code and wrap it in an error boundary. And when that doesn't work, you can use an NPM fallback. And so basically what you do is you do the NPM library, but you dual publish. You publish it both as an NPM, but also as a federated module up to S3. And then what happens is, whatever your static store is, the application code would first attempt to load the federated module, which would give you the most up-to-date version. And if that didn't work, then it would fall back on the NPM version. So it's kind of like a Python. I'm not a climber. I should, because damn, climbing looks great. If you latch in with your Python, you can only fall so far. So you can only fall past that, to that NPM. You still get a header. It just might not be as up-to-date. Okay. So there's my spiel about module federation, why it's so cool. So shall we try out Vuex just to see if we can, because that's question number 2 is always, how do we share state between federated modules? Is that a big hack? Do you have to glob onto window or blah 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 blah? No, you don't need to do any of that. But so in Vue land, the hot state manager is Vuex. I don't know, maybe not hot. It is what people use. I use it when I do Vue. It's essentially a bidirectional data management system. And so what we're going to do is add on Vuex at next. So if you're familiar with MobX in the React world, Vuex is very much like that. So you basically set a bunch of values. You can then share them, and then when you update them, they just automatically get updated wherever it's consumed. So I'm going to go and add Vuex at next to both of these. And then what else do we have to do? So I'm going to go over here to the app. We're going to first do it in app. So let's take a look. So we got bootloader. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Okay, so for Vue 3, which is us, because we're so awesome, we are right on the bleeding edge of all this. We first import create store, and then we create a store, and then we use the store. But this guy has got to change because I kind of globbed him together. So let's call that app. And then we will app.mount that. Okay, cool. And then we're here under state. I think it had I'm just copy and pasting code because I'm that kind of guy. Nope. Hold on, getting started. Where is it? There we go. That's the one. Okay. Had that. So that's a better version of store. Obviously, that's no bueno. And so let's set a count of, 25. So in the header, you're going to have a count of the number of things that you put into your cart. I'm assuming e-commerce, because I work in e-commerce. So, you can imagine whatever kind of shared state you want. Okay, so that's our store, and we're sticking to it. So let's bring up home. Okay, looks like that's happy. So in order to get access to that state, we need to go over into our header, and we'll bring up again the script stuff because we want that count to be in the header, right? Obviously, not obviously, but sure. And I think it's like computed, and then count, which is a function. I'm gonna go over here to the documentation again. Thor is probably like, are you kidding me? No, it's not like, by the way, Psycho, it's not like Redux. Redux is unidirectional. So you give it like events, those events go mutate the state, and then that in turn updates stuff. You have to like, it's not dual binding. Okay, so getter state, there we go. Yes. And this works. Okay. There we go. So we're going to have a computed value in there. It's just kind of cool. Like, views is super cool for this sort of stuff. But, okay. And then we'll say, count is, and then double, handlebars it. Let's see. So if we go over to home. Oops. Here we go. There you go. Count is 25. Cool. Nice, right? Awesome. So let's go back over here to our bootloader. Change the count to 22. Just make sure that we're not. Yep. Nothing up my sleeve. Got some shared state, which is great. So now let's go over to our search and see what happens. If we because now we don't have a store yet on search, right? So yeah, we're probably going to get some error. Yeah, okay. Can't read the state of undefined. So let's go back over here. I'll show you where that blew up. So now header, right? It gets to this .store, which is now undefined because in search, there's no store. And so it tries to dereference state off that. And so I don't want to do that. So let's go back over here to bootloader from app. Basically just grab this whole thing and pop that down into the bootloader of search. We'll change this to, I don't know, 72. And now there you go. So the header in search in home is using the home store, and that's returning a count of 22. The home in the Vuex store in header is showing showing 72 for some reason or another. I don't know, who knows. And now, but basically there's some shared state for you. So pretty cool. All right. We got a new person on the Discord server. Thank you so much. I probably will hang out after this, by the way, on the Discord server just for a little video chat. So you can ask me any questions you want. It's not recorded. You don't have to be pretty on the TV screen or whatever. It's all good. So do we want to try and mutate the state and see if that works? So you can see different parts of the module federation working, or just show how little I know about Vue nowadays? Let's do that. Okay. So So I need something to add a number to that header. So maybe over in search page we can add a product. So let's do that. Let's have a button that says, add to cart, right? Everybody wants to add to cart. It's coming up on holiday season. Wow, what happened there? Okay, thanks. Wow, that's some weird. Yeah, I'm trying to open a div, not close a div. VS Code. Okay, so there's our button. Let's take a look over on the search page. Cool, we got it, but it does nothing. So let's go over to okay, so let's see. I need a method, I think, on here. Come on. Is it possible to export a module from a Vue app and consume it in a React app? Ooh, yes, I did that in the original video. Let's get done with this, and then I'll do that for you. How about that? So I think the first thing I need to do is set a method, right? Methods on click. I think that's it. God, I'm just winging it here. And then, let's see. Oh, V on. That sounds good. I think it's like V on click. Is on click? Sure, why not? Not enough WebStorm. I'm kind of with you there. That's true. All right, I'm gonna do the original hack of alert 1. All right. Oh, look at that. Who knew? Okay, and then I think what I can do is from here I can say this dot store dot state dot count plus equals 1. Let's see. And cannot read property store of undefined. Oh, I know why. I'm in a anonymous function, which is still the case. Okay, there you go. Oh my god! Wow, that is craziness. Okay, so here's what you got. You've got the search page. The search page is bringing in a header from a different application. They're both listening to the store, and I'm mutating the store in the search app, and then the header, which is published from the homepage app, is seeing that mutation and updating that count. Boom. Thank you, Thor, for the... yeah, okay, yeah. So I can do, yes, the shorthand on this in viewland is @click. All right. This shows you I just haven't done enough Vue lately. I love Vue, and I just have yet to, And I like the Vue 3 stuff. It's great. All right. So Zaid was saying, let's go and put our... Oof. This is going to be interesting. Okay. It was a lot easier when I wasn't using a store, Zaid. But what we'll do is we'll do something. Okay, so we'll go over here and we'll just check to make sure that this is all good. If this dot store and this dot store dot state, then yeah, something like that. Otherwise, 0, I guess. Is that going to work? I think that's... I'm so used to now TypeScript with its with the optional chaining. And by the way, the TypeScript thing is on Sunday at noon to 1:30 PST. We're going to do a dry run of the new TypeScript course, which is pretty cool. It's an interesting take on TypeScript teaching. It's around basically converting JavaScript files to TypeScript files. So that's you learn TypeScript by converting JavaScript, which is what you need to do anyway. Okay, so let's take a look and make sure everything still works. Looks like it still works. Okay, so with this trapping, I now believe that we could use the header in a React app because it's not going to look for a contextual store, and there you go. So let's go over here to bootloader. Actually, you know what? Shoot, I probably didn't even do that. Okay, so let's go over here to create a new file in app. We'll call it mount header, and we'll make it just a JavaScript file. And this is going to show you that like module federation isn't just good for doing components. You can do anything. You can do anything that you can Webpack and or anything you can create as a JavaScript file. You can export and import as a federated module. It could be JSON. It could be some functions. It could be a library. It could be components. Whatever you want. Oh, XState. Oh, yeah, because that's gonna give me a lot of people. What's the Venn diagram of Vue plus XState? Like there's like 3 people. Okay. Okay, so we want to be able to. So let's don't even worry about that. And now we're going to create a function, export default, and it's going to take a selector, and then it's going to do some stuff with a selector. Okay, it's going to do all of this. with the selector. So the selector being, you know, this hash, because you want to be able, if you were saying I want a function that puts a header on a page, right? This is going to be that function, and you want to tell it where it goes. So that's what that selector is. So now we need a new app. So let's go back over here to our Vue 3 starter and my homepage on GitHub. Should I do GitLab, guys? It's money. I didn't think it was. I was kind of surprised. It's like money. I don't know. Like GitHub is free. GitLab is money. Not that I'm averse to spending money, believe me, but you know, it's money. npx dgit, and then the starter for React on #main, and we'll call this a I don't know. What are we doing for? Let's do the PDP page in React. How about that? So PDP pages, guys, are like no Vue. We're gonna do React. Great stuff. We'll watch later. Cool. Thank you, Charlie. Much prefer GitHub. Okay, we use GitLab at work. We use GitHub Enterprise and Bitbucket at work. Kind of slowly migrating to GitHub Enterprise, honestly. Okay, I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't work for either of those companies. So what's that? Okay, so let's go take a look at what's in here. So this is the React starter kit. Is in what I've done here under app. So you got our good familiar kind of React-y stuff, right? And let's go over here. It's going to be on 8080, which we don't want. We want on 8082. So let's yarn that. 8082, the sequeling. Hey, if you guys are into comedy, by the way, this is terrible, but I love this show called Riff Tracks, and they're doing this thing on the 29th where they show, they basically riff over movies, and they're doing Starship Troopers, which is a fantastic one. If you ever, they rip that movie up, and they're doing it on the 29th on Scener, which is a way of like sharing Netflix movies, and currently Starship Troopers is on Netflix. So anyway, all right, I'll start this up. Enough of a plug for my friends at Riff Tracks. Again, no financial stake in that company. I don't think there is a financial stake in that company. All right, so we've got that, and we want to go over here to, so this is our React app. Ta-da, yay. Oh, GitLab is free? Why does it seems like it's like the branding on it? GitLab, lab. It's like free trial. Like when does that end? Is that, I mean, maybe I got spooked off, but like, so that like the free trial can last forever or something? Okay. So let's go here to the Webpack, and we'll call this one PDP. By the way, so somebody mentioned recently, like had an issue where they put in some extra like characters in here. This name has to be basically a JavaScript variable name. So if you add in like dashes and stuff like that, not gonna work, not gonna happen. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, so we'll just grab, oh, sorry, that is the wrong spot. Let's go over here to search, because that also uses this as a remote. So there you go, I'll go and grab that. I'll put that in there for the remotes. And so now we have home as a remote. And we're gonna go over here to import mount header from home/header, from mount header. And it's gonna blow up because we can't resolve home. Sure, no problem. So we'll restart because it hasn't, restar that. Okay. Didn't like that much. Why didn't like that? Oh, I know why. Okay, because I didn't go and add mount header to the list of Webpack outputs. So that's true. So let's go and add that. And again, we'll have to restart. So mount header, and then start that server up again. Again, like republish. It's happy. And now React is not blowing up, which is great. Now we actually got to call it. So let's go over here to the, so we're done here and done here. And we'll go to the index page. We'll create a new thing called header. And then we will mount that header on pound header. Oops, it would be nice if I put a string in there, wouldn't it? And it would be nice if I put a hash on that string. Not that, and not that. How about that? Okay. All right, here we go. Oh my God! Wait, no, that was, what? Oh, that's it. Oh, right. I know why that happened. Ah, I mounted the whole app. That's crazy. Okay, let's go back over here. Yeah, you see, I brought in that. What I really wanted to bring in was just the header. So let's go and create an app for that. Save. And now if I refresh, now I get the header. And GitLab is also free, and its pricing is a poor design. Okay. Chris, on your recommendation, I will go and check out GitLab. I've heard great things. Honestly, I have. I've heard great things. So, okay, one more time with this. Let's just go and show you that, like, now you've got Vue and you've got React and everybody's happy. Let's go over here to header again, and let's just make one more change. You know, a few more exclamation points because there's never enough exclamation points. Hit save. Go to my header, go to my home page. It's automatically updated. Go to my search page, hit refresh, updated. Go to my React page, hit refresh, updated. Bada bing, bada boom. Done. Nice. Okay. Boy, wow. So we talked about, wow, so much stuff. We talked about Vue modules, Vue components, we've shared functions. We've done all kinds of stuff. We've gone and done shared state. Actually, okay, joking aside, we could do something like any kind of state manager that works across React and Vue might be an interesting target to try out with this. Like if you really, really want to do that. For me personally, if I were like the architect of this solution, I probably wouldn't use any state manager at all. And I would make sure that you can, if you can create a store app as a federated module, definitely, yes. Been there, done that, absolutely. In fact, that's what I would do. I would create a vanilla JS store object. Why don't we just do that? Actually, I don't know. It would essentially be like an event listener type deal. Should we try it? Okay. I'm crazy enough to try it. Yeah. I think. I don't know. I gotta say, I was spooked. Like last week, I tried something really off the chain. Went for about 10 minutes on it, and it didn't work. So I'd rather do a whole video where I full on did the research and figured out exactly a nice scenario. But what I'm saying is, I would make a shared store. It'd be very lightweight, and it would have just the user identity and maybe the cart information in it. At least in an e-commerce sense, right? Because if you share a huge store and everybody's talking to that huge store, then there's a potential for that store to change its structure because it's so big, and then everything blows up. But if you really, all you really need to do is share the user identity and share like a couple of things like user identity and the number of items in the cart, then this would be great for that. Let me catch up on comments over here. This is awesome. Thank you guys. This is great. And I can throw away that because it worked. I always have like a piece of code off to the side that I can just ping on, and grab the right thing if I mess up on the syntax. So let me check on Vishal. Didn't imagine Vue and React integrated so easily. Thanks. Who knew? You now know. You can be the guy who walks into the meeting and is like, I got this idea. By the way, Svelte is just as easy. If you're looking for like a lighter weight framework, I think in particular, like the header would be a great header. Svelte will be a great header. And you can do exactly the same thing. I did that in a previous video using Svelte exactly the same way. So Vishal, you can be the person who walks in the meeting and say, I got this. Form management is better in React, Angular, or Vue. I do love React Hook Form. Let's see. I can't speak to Angular or Vue. Honestly, I'm not qualified to do that. In that area, is Module Federation similar to a micro front end? Great question from Ramon. And okay, so here's the deal. So people are like, wait a second, single spa, right? It does all that cool stuff, and it's like the acknowledged leader. There's like open components and there's single spa. Like, does Module Federation kill single spa? And the answer is no, actually. In fact, if you look under the documentation for, oops, that's the wrong window. We'll go over here to the single spa documentation, and we'll go for Module Federation. And they basically say in the documentation, oh, look at that. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, so there's different ways. Yeah, so Module Federation, we look for that. And it's now one of the acknowledged ways of putting modules out there. I'm going to turn up the brightness on my screen. Hold on. Let me do a little AV work here. How's that? That looks a little better. Okay. So they usually use system.js or is it .js? It's just system.js as a way to package what they call parcels in single spa world. And the point of this is that that you can use either system.js or Module Federation. Module Federation is a code transport mechanism. It does not care what you do with the code. And if you have like a Vue component and you just try and use it and import it as a React component, boom, it's not going to work. It's not going to do that marshalling for you. So that's what single spa is going to do. Single spa is actually going to wrap your React apps, your Vue apps, your Angular apps, all in a parcel, and that parcel presents a unified API surface that, regardless of the underlying Vue framework, makes it usable in any page, right? So Module Federation is not going to do that work for you. If you have a situation where you have multiple pieces and parts and pieces like that, you're going to want to use something like Single Spa to do that work of the micro FV stuff. But I think a lot of people fall into this trap of like, well, wait a second, do I need Single Spa if all my things are React or if all my things are Vue? Absolutely not. You can just, as I showed like, just bring in the freaking component, right? It's done. Okay, so it looks like we got a whole thing going on here about forms managers, which, by the way, I'm a big deal. I love forms managers. So if you guys want me to do like a comparison video, just throw that in there. Okay, so all right, and I can see doing a header app with a store, pulling that nowhere needed. Makes sense. V3 is the composition API. Yeah, I'm a big fan of V3's composition API, for sure. Let's see, working with nested forms. Yeah. Oh, restaurant menu generator. We just had a new guy come on board the Discord who's like, does the outside menus for like Taco Bell and stuff like that. Totally cool. Okay, so we do have this use case, React Module Federation with Webpack RC version blocked because of polyfill issues on IE 11. Sorry, dude. Don't know what to tell you. IE 11, man. Bane of people's existence. Next step for micro front ends is Vue apps. Fingers crossed. Okay. Show me some complex code. You mean like form complex? Or are we still talking about micro front ends? And then, let's see, I'm getting down to the end here. All right, cool. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for the awesome questions. What I'm going to do now is we're going to go over to the Discord server. There is a link to that up in the header of my YouTube channel page. Sign up. It's free, and then we'll be in the video chat, and you can just talk and ask me any questions you want, and no recording. So feel free to show up and have some fun. Can't wait to see you guys. See you in a few. Be happy, be healthy, be safe. All right.